and I'm just going to call them a pack of predators, these juveniles that are roaming around and looking to prey on people.
That is Police Chief Craig Meidel in a press conference with the mayor earlier this afternoon addressing continued public safety concerns in downtown Spokane. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. We do start tonight with that press conference addressing a string of violent crimes happening in downtown Spokane, most notably involving teenagers just within the last week.
KREM 2's Janelle Finch has been following this recent chain of events. And Janelle, what do you learn from today's meeting today?
Mark and Whitney, when people go to downtown Spokane, they shouldn't have to worry about getting robbed or assaulted. That sounds like a simple idea, but Spokane police say young people bringing violence and weapons into our city are challenging that presumption of safety. Spokane police and the city are responding to a recent uptick in teenage-related crime.
They are roaming the streets with pepper spray, with guns, with knives, with other weapons.
Earlier this week, police arrested a 14-year-old and two 16-year-olds for robbing and stabbing a man on the Monroe Street Bridge.
The types of juveniles we're dealing with are predators, and they're preying on other people.
Mayor Nadine Woodward, Spokane Police Chief Craig Meidel, and Downtown Police Precinct Captain Dave Singley say they hear the community's concerns.
They're sharing information about what they are seeing and experiencing, and there are very clear expectations for increasing public interventions. Many of their concerns are about the juveniles roaming downtown, committing crime and disturbances.
Captain Singley says the department has been tracking an increase in juvenile-related violence since as early as March.
March 29th, April 5th, April 9th, just a couple days ago.
Police say at least a dozen people ranging in age from 14 to 24 have been arrested for assaults and robberies downtown.
Not all of them are directly related, but some of the ones associated with one incident are associated with some of the other incidents, even if they're not directly involved, although some of them are directly involved as well.
Despite these crime trends, Mayor Woodward says police are committed to protecting people downtown, including those who are unhoused.
They're protected like everybody else is protected. Our officers downtown, doubling the patrols, they are making an effort to reach out to people on the street, to connect them to services that meet their needs better than just a sidewalk does.
Captain Singley could not say if drugs were a factor in recent downtown crime. Chief Meidel says that there are still some outstanding suspects in these recent crimes and they will be arrested in due time. He also said that people can expect a larger police presence at upcoming summer events. Live from Spokane, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Janelle, thank you very much. In other news, Washington's Department of Health launched a new tool to track opioid and drug overdoses in the state. The new dashboard aims to help communities across the state reduce overdose deaths.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley is joining us here in the studio now to share what those trends look like in Spokane County.
Well, the Department of Health's new dashboard features statewide, regional, and county-level data on drug-related hospitalizations and deaths. The data currently ranges from 2016 to 2021. Now, take a look at this. In Spokane County, the dashboard shows 111 fatal overdoses were reported in 2016. By 2021, the total went up to 149. But hospitalizations saw a significant decrease. There were 635 in 2016. That went down to 460 in 2021. Now, this data is updated quarterly from sources including death certificates and hospital discharge information. Spokane Regional Health District says it's a tool that will help guide local response to drug use here in Spokane.
If we can work together as a community, then we can definitely make an impact and at least hopefully start seeing a slower rate with those numbers and potentially a decrease.
Now, across the state, the data shows an upward trend of drug and opioid hospitalizations and deaths. SRHD attributes some of these totals to the COVID pandemic. Now, the dashboard is one of many tools that SRHD uses to track overdoses in our community, but this site is available to the public with an easy to understand format for all. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you. An abortion pill will remain on the market for now following a ruling by a federal appeals court, but there are some new limitations. Last week, a Texas federal judge suspended FDA approval for the abortion pill. The Department of Justice then filed an appeal against that ruling.
A federal appeals court in New Orleans put a hold on the Texas judge's ruling until the case can be heard further. Now the pill will no longer be available through the mail, meaning an in-person doctor's visit will be needed to get a prescription. It'll also only be available for the first 7 weeks of pregnancy.
We are going to continue to fight in the courts. We believe that the law is on our side and we will prevail.
The ruling will likely not change the availability of the drug here in Washington. Last week, a federal judge in Spokane blocked any changes to the drug's availability in 17 states.
Today, Lori Balos' former best friend, Melanie Gibb, took the stand. Balos was charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and grand theft in the deaths of her 2 kids, JJ and Tylee, and her current husband's late wife, Tammy Daybell. Today, Gibb laid out a timeline of when Lori first met Chad to when the kids went missing and how the couple's beliefs played a role with their interactions.
In court today, she said Lori told her that JJ had been taken over by an evil spirit in September of 2019, the same month that JJ and Tylee disappeared. They asked the judge to throw out her entire testimony. The defense did. The prosecution, though, disagreed, and the judge denied that request. All right, back here at home, let's take a break from the headlines. Let's talk weather with our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Lagoon.
Jeremy, things remain mostly dry for at least most of the day today. Still waiting on that warm-up, though, right?
Oh, Mark, I don't know if you were here for the 4, but some of those forecast models starting to waver a bit on that weekend warm-up.
Of course.
But it is still significantly warmer than where we have been these past couple of days. Right now, we sit in the 40s, even over in Coeur d'Alene and even here in Spokane. And that's all thanks to that atmospheric trough that just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And even after we get through the weekend, it looks like that thing sets right back up next week, meaning more of this. It's those scattered and isolated showers that we're seeing, mostly in high elevations and mostly in areas where you get a little bit of orographic enhancement, but a few of those making their way out of the mountains and down into places like Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. We'll continue to watch those kind of move through, fall apart, and then really spark back up as we get into Friday afternoon. But yes, overall, the pattern really doesn't change that much the next couple of days. Saturday, we'll see mostly cloudy skies, and then Sunday, we'll eventually see the return of moisture as our next storm works its way in. So here's the way it looks. Tomorrow, we might make it into the 50s. We've tried every day, and every day the forecast models have said mid-50s, and getting 50 is difficult. Saturday, upper 50s. Sunday, maybe 60, but now those forecast models are starting to suggest we might be quite a bit colder than that.
All right, Jeremy, thank you.